Hey, welcome to our channel again. Have you run into a problem with your virtual assistant or doesn't know where to start with your virtual assistant? Do you have all these experience before, heard about them before, which is, man, the VA does not have common sense. Man, they do not communicate with me. I don't know what to say with them. Man, they screwed this thing up big time. Well, you are very fortunate because today I will be sharing with you the complete guide of the do and don'ts about how to work with your virtual assistant that you must watch. And the caveat is a lot of these are coming directly from the voice of the virtual assistant. This doesn't come from me only. It comes from the virtual assistant to tell me, man, I wish my boss is like this. What that they should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing, right? All the do and don'ts. So you must watch this, especially before you hire a virtual assistant. This will save you a lot of time, energy, most importantly, the grief that you're going to be running into, the stress that you do not need to have. All right, so watch it and stay to the very end because we always have some special tips for you that you must know so that you don't run into this problem that every client have faced before. The goal today is to talk about the do and don'ts for your virtual assistant. This is some of the insight from our virtual assistant community and then summarize with my do and don'ts. This is because we are trying to eliminate all the problems that we have, which is all the miscommunication, all the upsets, all the undesirable outcome. We just want you to be super happy, always make sure that the output is done and you're like, man, VAs is the best way, VA is the only way, and that is the goal of today's call. I wanted to share with you this page. I think that this is super important. This is from Stephen Covey, Situational Leadership, how a leader should act based on different phases. So if you look at the top, that is the D1, D2, D3, D4. That's what you need to give to your virtual assistant. The bottom is the S1, S2, S3, S4. That means what a leader should be doing. D1, that means that when they first started, the trust is really low because you don't necessarily trust them. You don't really know what they can do for you. And they might not really trust you too because they don't really know what's going on, but they're very excited because they just started with you. So they have a lot of excitement. What happened with them is that they are D1, they have super low competent, but they have high commitment because they're excited for your job. And as a leader, what you need to do is, if you look at the bottom, you need to give them high directive, give them high instruction information, but you don't have to really support them on emotion as much, but a high five would be great, right? Great job, you're doing this and things like that would be amazing. And usually that will be the first week or the first 2 weeks of you working with them. And then they will get into D2, which means that they have low and some competence, have a little bit of low commitment because they feel like, and during this time, you want to give them high direction still. Hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. And this time I want to eliminate some of the stuff because they most likely will feel overwhelmed with everything that they know and they need to simplify them. You want to give them high supportive because this is a time where they were like, can I really do this? Maybe I'm not the right fit. That will be some of the question that they will have. So you want to just give them, hey, you're doing an amazing job. I know you're making some mistake. This is what you need to simplify. Instead of 5 divided by 25, it will be 1 divided by 5, right? Just simplify the formula. And then you will get to D3. That usually will be your first month into it already, kind of moderate and high on competent, but they might still be variable on the commitment because it just depending on how much task you give them, because the more task it is, the longer it's going to take them to go through this curve. The less tasks that they are doing, the quicker they're going to go through this curve. So then during that time, you do not have to give them a lot of information, direction anymore because they already know. You just have to support them with their emotion because during this time, usually it's the time they're thinking, well, can I really do this? Maybe this is too much for me. And they might think oh, maybe I'm not doing what they want. So this is the time I'm telling them, hey, you're doing an amazing job. This is exactly what I want. Or hey, this is what you need to tweak a little bit. But this is usually the time that you feel like, they're kind of quiet. I don't know what's going on, right? How can I improve this whole situation? Okay. And then D4 is technically where me and Monique is at. I love this stage. It's a delegating, 100% delegating mode. It's high competent, high commitment. My VA, Monique, if I tell her to do something, she already know exactly what I need. And she's like, boss, I'm here for you, right? She has been with me for 10 years, going on 11. This is exactly what we need to do. Boss, I would never leave you because you're the best boss in the whole wide world. So we don't really have a lot of small talk. We just have very, very high execution. And that's what I love about it. These are all the do's that we have collected from the VAs. We tell them, hey, I want you to free flow. What is some of the do that a VA should be doing? Take initiative, be detail-oriented, be proactive, foster great relationship with client, be innovative, be resourceful, maintain clear communication with the client, set great expectations expectation, be efficient, be honest. I love to be honest because sometimes they are just not really telling you how they feel. Think outside the box, seek to understand them to be understood, check resources. You know, there are just many more, right? Show love and care for the company you work for, have a sense of urgency, follow your client standard, be open to suggestion, have integrity, be organized. So these are all coming from the VA. Most of them already have these common sense. This is not from me, this is directly from them. Clarify with to meet the client's need, meet the deadline, do the best that you can before complaining, address technical issue promptly, be mindful and not forgetful. I thought that was really good. Be responsive to the feedback, be honest with your capabilities. This one is pretty key because sometimes we have VAs that's like, okay, boss, I'll do it. And at the end, they just don't do it, or they just don't know how to do it, but they're just trying to please you and didn't work out. And update your client regularly. I love this one. Honestly, when I first started working with them, I get them to communicate with me every hour. Trust me, if you don't set a good foundation with your virtual assistant on all your musts, eventually things will just not go as good. I know micromanagement is like a bad word, but I love micromanaging them because then I know exactly what's going on. I know when what thing is happening, so we don't have miscommunication. That was the key of the whole thing. Always want them to learn continuously and stay focused and not avoid any distraction. No Facebook Messenger talking to the family members and things like that. Okay, so these are all the do's that the VA have come up with. Now the don'ts, what the VA shouldn't be doing. This is coming from them. So again, adoption rate is very high. Once every couple months, bring this slide up and tell them, hey, this is what your community come up with. Are you checking all of that? Never assume, because assuming is making an ass out of you and me. Neglect clarifying and verifying. Do not overpromise and underdeliver. Neglect the feedback. Complaining about the task before trying them. Engage in dishonest behavior. Ignore technical issues. Be disrespectful. Procrastination. Engage in moonlighting. Taking on other job while working as a VA. This is also a key. Once in a while, if you notice that the productivity is low, you might want to check, are they getting another job? What is going on with them? Just to double check on it. 90% of the time, this will not happen, but 1% of the time, it does happen. So you just wanted to look into that. Please don't be late. Don't be lazy. Don't make commitment that you can keep. Don't go leave or be absent without notice. Don't neglect communication. Don't take your job and client for granted. Don't miss updating your client. Don't work fast and not smart. Don't overly chatty. Don't avoid asking for help or clarification. Don't be ungrateful. If anytime your VA is doing this, I'll say pull out the PDF and say, hey, this is what you guys had come up with. Why are you doing this? So that way you can realign with them on what a VA should do and don't do. Don't make decisions without informing your bosses. Don't lose focus and get distracted easily. Don't ask obvious questions. We always tell them if ChatGPT can answer you and you know that the answer is correct, then don't waste your time asking your client. Only verify and clarify. Don't compare your task to others because everybody's different. Do not ignore the feedback. Do not be dishonest. I will have to tell you, 99% of the VAs are amazing, but we do have one or two bad sheep once in a while that they are dishonest with their ability, their hours, time, anything. Don't take advantage of your clients. Don't dive into projects even without prior experience. What that means is like, make sure that they have a lot of depth, just have a closed mindset and they're like, no, I don't want to do it because I don't have experience on it. What we want them to do is be open-minded and do that. Okay. And here is a long list that I'm not going to go over too in depth about. This is what the VA have listed out. I said, if you're in front of Santa, what would you want your clients to do? And these are what come out with. The number one is obviously bonus. They love bonuses. I love focusing on KPI. And if they hit the company goals, then give them a bonus so that we can constantly focus on company growth, right? In the healthy way. Job security, value one's mental health, appreciation, understanding, virtual high five, celebrate the completed tasks, have patience with them. Make sure that you kind of communicate with them about what things need to be done, because we do run into a lot of clients that I thought they understand, I thought they know, but the thing is that every business is different. Please do not assume that they understand, and always clarify and verify with them, because we are from a two different culture. We don't really understand each other sometimes, so you need to make sure that they really understand, especially if it comes to accuracy. Something is super important. Respect the VA's time. I do not mind. For me, sometimes I'm late too, but I told the VA, if I'm late, you're still on the clock, so that's okay. I can still be late because I'm paying for your time anyway. You're paid by just waiting for me. We do have clients that's like, okay, when you're waiting for me, but I don't expect to pay you. Treat other people how you want to be treated, making sure that you're not doing things like that. Make sure that you give feedback. Feedback is really important. We tell them that feedback is love. You always tell them what you like, what you don't want. Maintain the open and transparent communication. We actually train them on Byron Katie, the works, my hallucination, or like, I feel that you are stressed. I feel that you're not doing well. I feel that you don't really like the work. What really happened? So that way you can have a safe communication to communicate with each other what is going on and how can we better it. Constant communication. I work with a lot of Tony Robbins Platt. After Tony Robbins Platt, there's another layer out. It's actually Tony Robbins Lions. And I found out that what they do right now with the virtual world is they actually have their Zoom on all the time, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So anytime people are working, they get them into Zoom. It's kind of like a virtual office space. Everybody's in the office per se, so that they can constantly have good communication. And if they all learn together and they have better relationships. So I would suggest that at the very, very beginning, you can always keep your Zoom on. So that way it's easier for you to communicate with them. Hey, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Whatever works for you, works for you. But I'm just going to want to bring some of the option out. So that way you know, oh, okay, this is a good option, right? Because now it's becoming like, okay, me and him or her are in the office and we can just communicate with each other. We can chit chat with each other, having fun with each other. Make sure that you have created a relationship where the VA is also comfortable with communication. I have to say, this is one of the big quote unquote common sense, not so common too. People in the English countries, we are more proactive. We actually speak up more. In the Asian country, we are more shy. We are also more driven by shame. So they tend to not want to communicate with you more because that was how they were trained. Like, don't ask any questions. You don't get paid by asking more questions. So you wanted to immediately enhance that and say, hey, if you don't know something, ask me questions. Well, great job on asking me questions. So they were there, oh, okay, quote unquote, I got praise when I ask questions. I got praise when I'm curious about something. So make sure that you allow them to ask questions and build that relationship. It's okay for you to ask me questions because ultimately, as an entrepreneur, I don't know what I don't know. And I really love when they ask me questions. Meeting and communication, I strongly suggest that you have like a daily meeting. If you only have one VA, right, and that person is helping you with a lot of stuff, daily meeting would be great. If not, every morning you do a brain dump on your WhatsApp or something. So that way, constantly communicate with each other. Encourage work-life balance. What I really train the VA is that communicate with them. Work hour is done at 5 p.m., let's say. So they should be able to clock out at 5 p.m. As entrepreneur, we work all the time. So what I tell them is, hey, I might send you messages on 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock because I don't want to forget them. But you do not have to answer them until the next morning when you come in, when you clock in. But sometimes they will still do it. But once in a while, we have VAs where we have clients that, okay, I want you to work with me for 8 hours and I still want you to serve me another extra 8 hours after work hours. And at the end, the VA just couldn't handle it anymore and just kind of quit. So make sure that you communicate with them about it, set proper expectations. Set clear expectations. Sometimes expectation wasn't set clearly, and then obviously that's where miscommunication happened and ups happen. Provide timely payment and support. Make sure that you always pay them on time. If you couldn't, just let them know. They don't mind bad news. They just do not like surprises. Support them with personal and professional growth. I cannot stress this enough. I know that at the very beginning, everything is doing really well. So you're like, man, I don't need them to come into the Wednesday call. It will not show up immediately, but I can guarantee you within 3 to 6 months, something is going to go badly and you guys are going to misalign. And at the end, the VA just not wanted to go with you because most client, you are really busy with your client and your business. You don't really have time to take care of your VAs. We're getting them to come in every Wednesday for 1 to 2 hours so that they can feel energized. They can get realigned. They can get motivated to work again. And they're also constantly learning. They really want you to treat them as a partner and not just a worker. I love this. So in that way, they take initiative to become the partner. They will take care of you. They'll protect you and stuff like that if you allow them to do. I thought that was funny. Coffee supply subscription. I told them we'll send them some coffee once in a while. Show them that they have value. Most of you guys really do value them. But once in a while, there's still clients that are not. And sometimes we actually educate the VA is that a lot of time client as us, we might be stressed. So it's not that we don't share it with them. They don't know what they don't know. So a lot of time we have to remind them again that, hey, a lot of time business owner have a stressful job. So they might not have like a good emotion, but that doesn't mean that you're not valued. It's from the VA community that they brought up. Some of them is already repeated, but we'll go over it. This is for the client. And you know what you could do for them, right? Please do take time to communicate with them. Do trust and empower your VA. Do value, appreciate them. Do provide specific and clear instruction. Do communicate with them effectively. Do maintain open and effective communication. Provide constructive feedback. Do respond promptly. Do acknowledge and appreciate them, and do inform them if there's any sudden changes and update that might affect their task. Don't, again, reiterate, this is from the VA perspective, right? Please don't assume that they really know what you want. Effective communication requires clear and explicit instruction. Don't invalidate some of the work that they have already done. Please don't hold back your feedback. Also, don't delay on the responding on your VA queries. And I would love you guys to write this note. That's very important. I eliminate myself from the responsibility. So what I tell my VA is, it is your responsibility to get this thing done. It is your responsibility for me to get it done. If I didn't get it done, it is your fault, not my fault. I know it is a harsh thing to say, but man, I feel so good after I set that right expectation for me, because now my VA have to chase me on getting things done and not me chasing them on getting things done. I know myself, I always take on too many projects, so I need them to hold me accountable. I need them to help me complete my task, and that's my expectation for them. Don't overwhelm your VA with excessive tasks and vague instruction. We do the time blocking, right? Every day I only have 8 hours. What do you want me to do in in this 8 hours so that I can feel good, you can feel good to get it done. Please don't rush the virtual assistant to finish the task quickly. I try very hard not to rush them, but sometimes I just have last minute stuff so they know. And now we also hire people that is gonna be doing like all the day-to-day tasks and people who are handling my rush stuff, so that way we don't overload them. Don't neglect to respond and acknowledge when the tasks are done. I love this one. Please don't react immediately without taking the time to review and understand the situation. I love this piece that I learned from my coaches from Tony Robbins. When things happen, take a deep breath, smile, don't curse, and then ask them what happened, how did it happen, why did it happen, tell me more, what else really happened, okay, is there anything else that you want to tell me? And if they say everything already, then you take the time to evaluate and then provide your judgment or your feedback. Don't ignore or fail to respond to it, because when you ignore, we created a bad habit. So out of 50 tasks, they completed 30 and you ignore 20, and then the ignore tasks and responses will keep adding it up, and the next thing you will know is that you actually created a bad habit for them to ignore stuff and for you to ignore stuff. This is the do and don'ts insight from me. Do micromanage your VA at the very beginning. I would say at least 25% of my clients who did not micromanage their VA at the very beginning always come back to us for a replacement because the VA starting to become late, didn't meet the deadlines on time. They send them WhatsApp message and they didn't respond within 5, 10, 30 minutes. Some of them were taking like 2 to 3 hours. The word micromanaging for me is to set the correct foundation, set the correct expectation, get them to create an SOP for you. Create an FAQ, so every time you ask me this question, put it on here and then put in all the answer that I have. That will really help you, because in the near future, I really believe that every client that wanted to achieve $1 million in income, you should have at least a minimum 5 virtual assistants. The first one will be an EA, how you manage your company, manage your VA, manage your calendar, doing all the general stuff. Number 2 will be social media, right? So that way it help you with your website, your lead generation, promotion, and things like that. Number 3 will be sales and customer service. Either they help you with sales calls, or they help you with pre-call, or they help you with onboarding your clients, remind your clients of what to do so that way you don't have to take it on. Number 4 person will be accounting, helping you with numbers. This one is huge for real estate because some of them is seasonal. You know what you need to do, how do you budget, promotions, how's your profit margin. And then number 5, I would say, is a business development person. I actually recently have to create some websites and I do not have the time to do them. I actually have an AI agent that is working on all the AI, and he has successfully helped me convert my website to a website that's just for hair salon company without me spending 30 minutes in it. I would say those are the 5, and then you can add more. Be open-minded and curious. Provide them detailed instruction and guidance for the task. Please set clear expectation on communication channel. For me, is WhatsApp number 1, Facebook Messenger number 2, text message number 3. If you cannot get a hold of me with all these 3, then send me a WhatsApp missed call so that way I know. If not, call my kids. My kids have a Alexa portal. When they call, Alexa portal will ring, so that way I know if it is super urgent. Understand the personality style when we hire people. If they are an accountant, they most likely are quiet. If you're hiring somebody in sales, most likely they are very targeted, but they might not be as accurate. So you need to know the personality style before you work with them, and understand where is the chokehold and where's the miscommunication would have happened, because not everybody is perfect like you or me. Kind of like when me and my husband used to run a sales company for AT&T, my husband always think that we can hire somebody just like him. Work smart, work hard, know how to sell. We take 3 years, and I proved to him that we cannot find anybody just like him. Be aware, we cannot find another you. You are too special, too perfect, and VA could only do about 25%, but with the money that you pay, is well worth it. Provide feedback and recognition for good work. We failed to celebrate wins. We did remind them that they need to celebrate wins together with you, so in that way it's a win-win together. Respect your VA and treat them fairly. Sometimes if you are getting on them too harsh, they will get into like a shell shock and they will get really quiet, quit, and go missing. So if you have some problem, come to us, communicate with us so that we can help you with it. Give them tasks and realistic expectation. A lot of time I am not realistic, but the good news is my VA know about it. Thank God all of them are staying with us. Please don't assume that your VA know everything about your business or industry. Always make sure that you have that on your mind. We remind the VA at least once a month, at least minimum, to tell them that, hey, you don't know what you don't know. Please ask. Comments is not so common. There's no shame in asking people. Please do not share private and sensitive information without proper security measure in place. I am not in the business with you every single day. I am not listening to your training call. So I do not know whether you do the right thing or not the right thing. So please do not share them sensitive information. Do not give them a PDF file and say, okay, these are all my passwords. That is no good, because if the VA quit, if you don't like them and you fail to communicate with us, and all of a sudden they have all your passwords, or if cybersecurity, things happen. So please use something like LastPass, if not like a TeamViewer. And if you don't know what that means, schedule a call with us so that way we can assist you with it, because ultimately we are here to support you and serve you every step of the way. Don't expect your VA to be perfect without allowing them for room to grow and learning. Truth to be told, my husband and I have been together for 20 years. There's still a lot of room for him to be the perfect husband. I still have to train him on things that I like and don't like. Imagine what would that be like for your VA, especially first working with them. So give them some space. So be curious and be open-minded and encourage fail forward, because that is the only way that they can become a leader. That's the only way that you guys can optimize your business. And that's the only way that you can build better system for your business. Do not send them money and give directly, especially if you are an agency client for us. This does not happen often. We have worked with at least 1,000 clients so far. I do have one case that happened that the client gave the VA money directly, and the VA have figured out the passwords, and the VA was very desperate because she needs money and she wasn't in the right headspace, and she actually hacked into client's account and took money from the client. We have solved the problem because the client reached out to us. However, I just want you to know that only happened one time out of all the, I think 2,000 VA that were placed, but we just do not want that to happen to you. So if you need to send them money, if you wanted to send them gift, just have a quick chat with us so that we know what is going on and we give you the proper expectation and proper way of doing it. If you want to be really generous with them, just remember, if they MIA on you after you give them a big gift, you just want to make sure that you can bear the consequences and you're not going to feel hurt about it and come to me about it, because sometimes based on our experience, when you give your VA too good of a thing and they get treated too well, I like to treat my VA well, but I realize that when I'm too generous with them, it's almost like they're off balance. And then at the end, they just don't feel like they deserve this amazingness that you have, and then they quit on you. It's a weird reaction, but it happens all the time. Last but not least is communication is key. So if you have any questions, please just WhatsApp us, email us, shoot me a quick message. We also have office hours on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m., Tuesday, Thursday at 3 p.m. at phyllistrainingroom.com. So you can feel free to come in at any given time, ask us any questions, even if it is stupid. Please just ask us, because then we will be able to give you a better answer so that we can help you close the gap so that you really, really love the VAs. My source of income, the source of my VA's income is from referrals, is from amazing people like you. We really want you to have a 100% success rate. We really want you to tell other people how amazing virtual assistant is. I really love the mission of allowing the VAs to work from home, make good money, and then raise their children, because a lot of the moms in the Philippines, they actually have to work outside of Philippines to make really good money. They actually do not have proper transportation to go to work in the city. So a lot of time it was very dangerous, especially for the mom, to take a private car to workplace and scare every day on commuting. So we really, really want them to work from home, make good money, and raise their children so that their children doesn't feel like mom and dad is never home. The reason why, again, is because I was raised without my parents at home. So I wanted to really fulfill the need of that. If they do a good job, you're going to tell everybody about it, right? Then more VAs will be able to get a job working from home. This is why I wanted to provide you such amazing and valuable information and support. So in that way, you will hire more VAs, whether it's from me or somebody else. It doesn't really matter for me, but I just wanted to make sure that they can have better quality life, because in Philippines, it is not as easy to live as if we are in the United States. They do not get any support at all too. So that's it for today. This is all my slides. I hope this really helped you with setting up proper expectation and all the do and don't, so that you don't go on the dirt road, you go on the highway, so they can get closer to your destination, okay? And you can focus on your client and your family instead of them and the work. Like I tell you, right, this is amazing. This will help you save hundreds of thousands of dollars and time. So if you're curious about what else can you learn from us, well, watch the next video, and then I will tell you everything that you need to know about how to work with virtual assistant and how you can create a life with freedom and no stress, and you can spend time with your family. See you on the next video.